and her cousin's wife is pregnant. Now, as she's pregnant, keeps convincing Haldar to kick Bibi out, but he doesn't until his wife gives birth and the baby gets sick. Now, when the baby gets sick, they blame Bibi for it because they think she might be contagious or something, but it's really not what happened. Anyway, they kick her out when that happens, and the community is outraged because they all love Bibi, and they stop buying from Haldar's business, which is beauty, soap, everything like that, and which that eventually runs him out of business and runs him out of town. He moves somewhere else. After that, Bibi keeps living in the storage room of Haldar's old inventory, old shop, and she has all of his inventory. Now, she starts selling that, and a few months later, she's pregnant. Now, how she got pregnant, who got her pregnant, no one really knows. It's something that they really didn't look into because apparently, after she gave birth, she got cured. No more attacks were happening, nothing was occurring. It was just her selling old inventory from Haldar and the community supporting her for that. And that's how the story ends. Now, the structure follows the seasons of the year. In summer, she tries to find a husband, and her attacks are at their worst. And then in autumn, she's cast out, and the baby gets sick. In winter, she's fully abandoned by her cousin. In spring, she gets pregnant. In summer, she gives birth. Now, the fact that she got pregnant in spring is ironic because spring is kind of a season for rebirth and the flowering and everything like that. And it might have symbolized that Bibi is getting reborn in spring. She's cured in summer after giving birth, and all she needed was maybe the intercourse, maybe the baby, or even some argue that all she needed was responsibility for herself because no one really thought she could um, take has she has what it takes to be a woman. That's why no one married her. She doesn't know how to be a woman. She can't take care of a man. She can't do stuff like that. Now, the point of view of this story is first person, and it is first person, but not really, kind of, because the community is the one who's talking. It's a we. The point of view is we. Now, this is good because it gives an unbiased view of Bibi and everything that happens, because it's in the view of many people. And it also means that the community at that time is very intertwined, they're very together, and they act as one. It is also known that it's that the women of the community are the ones who are speaking. Now, the title of the story even has two possible meanings. One being the actual medical treatment of Bibi Haldar, like the treatment of Bibi Haldar, the actual treatment, and the other being how she is treated by her family. In this story, the absence of partition references is apparent because it is something that's happening and no one can change it really. But the author decided not to put it in, kind of. Now, the post colonial lens can be applied to the story. Haldar might be the colonizer, Bibi the colonized, or Haldar might be England and Bibi might be India and Pakistan, maybe. Because all India and Pakistan needed was some self trust and being able to do what they wanted by themselves. And that is the same thing with Bibi. That is some symbolization for you. Social power is also apparent. She's at the bottom of the caste system, just like Burima from Ariel Durwan. She's also a woman, which makes the reader use the feminist lens. Just like Burima in the story, Larry describes a woman's job as to cook and clean and to please their men and care for them. This means women are almost second-class citizens, and it fills the archetype of a typical housewife expected to please a man. Also, the fact that Bibi can only be cured by a man ties into a historical disease called female hysteria, which is exactly what Bibi is described to have. That was common in the Victoria era. We also used archetypal lens and historical lens right there. Now, the two stories have similar characters, both female, both have the same social standings, both paid with food and shelter instead of money. Bibi also gets a place in society, and in the end, unlike Burima, who's kicked out. That's a difference between the stories. Perhaps that's caused by Burima not actually being part of the community and being a refugee. Now, the author might appeal to an audience of other refugees and people who are cast out of their society and not really accepted. Um, her life also had an effect on storytelling. She's the daughter of Bengali Indian immigrants and was born in London but became American. Her parents took her to her hometown to experience where she's from, and that may have been an effect on her stories. Her hometown is Calcutta, which we know is Burima's home.